Hi you guys, it's Amanda with Healthy House on the Block, and I'm here with another weekly video and tip on creating an indoor space that truly supports your health and wellness. This week I am inviting you into my own home and we are going to do a project together. I am going to show you how I have found a hack, if you will, to get toxin-free furniture in your home on a budget. I know that furniture can be very expensive, especially if you're trying to find toxin-free. It's usually at the higher end of that price spectrum because you're getting something that's higher quality. And what we know with high quality is that it's not only good for our homes, a lot of times it's better for the environment because we're not replacing something all the time, which we're gonna get into this week. So I have created some slides that are going to take you through a lot of the content in this week's blog post, but I'm also sharing with you a how-to project where I am using some unfinished furniture, and I'm going to talk all about how to find the right unfinished furniture, as well as Vermont Natural Coatings products. I am sharing these with you because they're a product that I have recommended for years to my clients, and I wanted to show you how they work and why they are such a great option for a low toxin home. Their products are completely safe, completely natural, yet they are really high quality, and so they create one of the best durable surfaces on wood. So I'm going to share with you a video on how I cleaned up a coffee table and refinished it, and then we'll also go through this week's blog post, which has a lot of information on how you can do this in your home as well and what to look for. So let's get going. You know, there are seasons in your life where you get to pursue really fun hobbies. And you know, there are seasons in your life where sometimes those hobbies and passions kind of take a back seat. As a mom, I know this feeling all too well, but the good news is I know there will be a season of my life in the future where I can dive back into those hobbies again. Before kids, I had some spare time on my hands and I found that refinishing wood furniture was something I really enjoyed. Of course, before kids, I was also very unaware of toxins and chemicals and did all my refinishing in a very cringeworthy way. But what I absolutely love about the way that we evolve as human beings is we're able to change how we do things and able to learn from others and our past mistakes. I know now that when I return to refinishing furniture in the future, I can do so with a keen sense of what makes furniture healthy for our living spaces, using toxin-free products like the ones I'm sharing with you this week from Vermont Naturals will not only make my future pieces beautiful, but I'll feel safe while using them, and then also when I bring them inside. And in my research over the years, I've also learned a lot about just how to find lower toxin furniture options and make them your own, and all without breaking the bank. I know that toxin-free and low-toxin furniture is a pretty penny, but with all of my ideas in this video and my post, you'll get an idea of just how to furnish your home with affordable toxin-free items. Unfinished furniture has been one of my greatest hacks to finding toxin-free furniture for my home. There are a few reasons why this has been my go-to for things like coffee tables, chairs, and nightstands. First, solid wood is much more durable and generally is a buy-it-for-life purchase. Not only is a higher quality purchase good for your pocketbook because it will last a whole lot longer than the cheaply made version, but it's also good for the environment. Every time we purchase items for our home, we summon a chain of events to take place, all of which are hard on our environment, from the manufacturing to the shipping to the packaging. It all adds toxins to our world, and so by creating a shift towards conscious consumerism, you also have a lower impact on our world and environment because you stop the cycle of purchases. Second, solid wood is, in general, a much healthier option for a material in comparison to plastic, pressed woods, or human-made materials. While wood does off-gas to some extent, it off-gases at a much lower rate than a typical piece of pressed wood. The harder the wood you find, the less it will off-gas, which I'll be covering a bit later. Wood is completely renewable, and because it is solid as opposed to veneer, you can refinish it over and over again without ever having having to purchase new. Plus, purchasing unfinished wood gets you complete control over your furniture and finishes. You don't have to hunt down toxin-free furniture or find an Etsy store on the other side of the country. You can do it all in-house, which means low toxin and toxin-free stains, paints, and varnishes, as well as all the color tones you could choose. And finally, one of the biggest is that this is a bang for your buck purchase you can make. Solid wood can be expensive, but purchasing it unfinished means you can get a bargain and then add your own finishes. And no worries if you're not into painting or staining your own furniture. You can always hire that part out. I guarantee it will still be cheaper than purchasing a brand new piece of toxin-free furniture. So what to look for? Obviously, purchase from a company or a manufacturer that you trust. You can find unfinished furniture at Home Depot, Wayfair, the Unfinished Furniture Expo, and even on Facebook Marketplace. If you're purchasing used, verify that the product is from a smoke-free environment and always has been. Wood can hold on to smoke odors and toxins for its lifetime once exposed, and it can be very difficult to get rid of that odor. If you can find furniture that is either adhesive-free or uses a formaldehyde-free adhesive, you found a winner. It can be near impossible to find, and just know that by sealing your furniture with a great product like Vermont Naturals, who uses a polyway formula, you will seal many of those toxins inside where they won't be able to off-gas as much. Another note is that Safecoat has some special products that will stop the outgassing process that you could use beforehand. As for the wood itself, hardwood is a better option than softwoods, and hardwoods tend to give off fewer VOCs than softwoods. You might wonder why this matters if there are no added VOCs in the furniture. Well, VOCs are also found naturally in our environment outdoors, and so even plain wood can give off VOCs indoors, and those VOCs can get trapped in the interior air. You want to opt for maple, oak, walnut, birch, cherry, or ash when looking for natural hardwood. So as I mentioned before, I love Vermont Naturals for their wood finishing products. Not only is Vermont Naturals born out of science and a need for safer products inside our home, but they're also an extremely high quality product. If you remember my conversation with Andy Pace from the Green Design Center, you remember that this idea of high quality products is the common theme through most toxin-free building materials for our homes. Vermont Naturals uses a formula called poly, which essentially uses the byproduct of cheese making and uses the proteins to replace the toxic ingredients that are traditionally found in wood finish. Ingenious, if you ask me. These whey proteins are polymerized and create an extremely strong cross-linking on the wood that make it one of the most durable yet safe surfaces you can get. The polyway finish is actually twice as hard when cured than that of most water-based finishes. It also contains 0 flame retardants. But the good news is they've also received a Class A ranking, which means their products will not spread flames in an existing fire, which is the safest possible rating in the industry. So here's how I finished my natural wood with a non-toxic finish. First, you want to clean your wood. I used Vermont Naturals wood cleaner and was so happy with it. It was super gentle on my wood, but it also cleaned up set-in stains from food and markers that were not washable. Second, you can sand down your furniture if necessary. Even just a little bit of sanding does make the stain take better on the unfinished furniture. I gently scuffed mine with a 150 grit sandpaper. Next, you'll want to use a tack cloth to clean up your wood. You don't want any debris or wood dust left on your furniture before you sand it. Next, you want to prepare your space. Open a window if you'll be inside and get some fans going for ventilation. You can lay down a protective barrier between your furniture and your floor. Even if you're outside in the garage, I recommend this to prevent dust and debris from adhering to your stain and finish. I also recommend using gloves to prevent stain from being absorbed into your hands. I used a brush this time, so I did not do this for my project. You want to condition your wood and follow the instructions for drying time. I highly recommend Vermont Naturals for this, and I can show you that in my video. You'll use a rag or a brush and slowly wipe the stain onto your furniture. If you can, start with an underside or an inconspicuous spot, which I did ahead of time. I promise you'll get better as you go, and so save the top or the front for last. Let your stain dry completely, then determine if you'd like another coat. Usually it will make the stain darker and more dense looking, so it's not always necessary, but 2 coats is generally recommended. And then the last option is if you really want to, you can add a food grade top coating. Otherwise, just enjoy your furniture. Finding toxin-free furniture doesn't have to be difficult or expensive. Using my unfinished furniture method, you can customize any piece of furniture and make it as low toxin as you wish. So with that, we are all finished with my home project that I wanted to walk you through. I hope you were able to find something valuable in this week's blog post, maybe something you can do in your own home. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to leave a comment or send me an email. Otherwise, I will be back next week with another healthy house tip on creating an indoor space that truly supports your health.